Is it not extraordinary that the leader of the free world would not come out more forcibly and vocally and say that anything so appalling has no place, and be as specific as he has been when talking about, for example, ISIS and other such things that have happened over the last few months?
It's extremely extraordinary. However, we have a leader who has believed in these types of things and these types of groups. Donald Trump raised his campaign based upon his belief and his base of alt-right principles. He has Steve Bannon in the White House and other people around him who believe in this, and they thrive off of this, which he showed that in his statement where he said he tried to blame both sides of being violent. These are the people who went to a college campus with tiki torches threatening people. They went to a college campus threatening students. They went to a college campus with their racial statements and racial rhetoric.
Let's look at the context of when he walked out on TV. There'd just been a state of emergency declared for the entire state of Virginia. He just hung up the phone with a Democratic governor from the opposite party in Virginia, and they'd both agreed that they needed to ratchet down the rhetoric and tone things down because they were terrified that more lives would be lost at night when both sides were very angry and upset. Let's also realize that there are clear pictures showing people on the other side using paint cans, spray paint cans, as blow torches at some of the white supremacists. There were people on both sides that had ratcheted up the rhetoric to the point where it turned violent on both sides. And so what I think the president was doing when he came out is, one, he used the word bigotry. I don't know how much more blunt you can get than talking about bigotry. He said the words about how disgusting this is. And he also said that the violence was inexcusable, and as Americans, we should all come together.
Ben,
so I think what the president was trying to do, let me finish, this is a really important point. What the president was trying to do was to make sure that more bloodshed did not happen later in the day. And you know what? The White House has made it very clear. He denounced bigotry. He denounced the violence. He denounced the racism that was going on that day. He made it clear. Now, people say, well, I want this word or that word to be used. The president's job was to ratchet things down, and last night no one else's lives were lost.
Thank you, Ben. You sit there and you say this is symptomatic of Donald Trump. This is about his campaign. This is about not alienating the far right that have voted for him. Is it not fair to say, and we're in England watching this unfold, that this guy can't get anything right in your mind? He can't use whatever word he does or he doesn't use. People are jumping on the bandwagon. I read something over the weekend that said that there are people in Washington, the elite, and there are people all across America who will not rest until Donald Trump is thrown out of the White House. Is this yet another example of people grabbing on the crumbs of something and throwing it in the president's face? That's what I want to know.
First thing I want to answer is, Ben said he used the word bigotry, and that's not true. It's very interesting when Trump supporters put words in his mouth that Trump refused to say himself. Secondly, to answer your question,
he used the word bigotry in his opening statement.
I'm a lawyer.
That's not
I
true.
can look at things. Shut up and let me talk. I am a lawyer. I can look at things from both sides. That is what we're taught in law school, and that's what we do as far as we practice when we practice law. If Donald Trump came out and denounced this, like any president should, I am against racism. This racism will not be tolerated in our community. Instead of saying there's violence on the both sides, talk about the people who showed up on the college campus threatening students. Let's talk about them. And let's talk about the man who drove a car, the white man who drove a car into a crowd and killed a United States citizen. If this person was Muslim, Donald Trump would be tweeting all day. He would have press conferences from the ninth hole where he probably was and denounce this. He did not. This is his base.
I mean, that is a point we'd like to put to Ben about
Shush, listen.
That's a point we will put to Ben. But just on the point of whether he used bigotry or not, we've just checked it back, and he did use the word bigotry. So that was wrong, what you said.
I apologize.
Right, exactly. And this is... No, you told me to shut up because... And you lied. As a lawyer, you should know better. But let me make this point. You literally just made the perfect example of the question they asked you.
They asked you. Let
me finish. No. You just lied, and you told me to shut up.
You told me to shut up every other day, and that's the problem.
Let me finish. That's a problem. Let me finish. You just lied to everyone watching and told me to shut up because you said he never used the word bigotry when he used the word bigotry in his opening remarks. The point that they asked you a second ago is, are there people out there that will grab at every crumb to try to destroy the president because you don't want him to be the president? You are living proof that you are willing to lie and deceive people and not be honest with the people watching today and make up a lie when the third or fourth word the president used was bigotry.
You tackled Eric on that. Let me ask you, let me give you Eric's point, though, just briefly.
I want him to be president
Eric,
because
just
he's
1 second,
the
otherwise we
Democrats
can't
to
get your
win.
questions answered. So, Ben, the point he made was if this was a Muslim attack, an attack by a Muslim, then the impression is that Donald Trump would have been tweeting all day and all night.
Absolutely.
So why hasn't he?
Well, I think if you look at his actual tweets, he made it very clear that the Justice Department and the FBI are investigating this as a hate crime now. He's letting the government do its job. But when he walked out there after a state of emergency had been declared in an entire state and talked to the governor of that state, his point was to make sure that there was no one else that died and no other police officers that died, no other innocent people died. What he said was bigotry, and he talked about the violence, and he said, let's everyone calm down. I think that's what a leader does in the situation. The White House today made it very clear that there's no issues here.
I have to finish you both there. Thank you, Eric. Thank you, Ben. Diametrically opposed opinions. And
Thanks.
I guess the truth about the whole thing is that Donald Trump and anything to do with Donald Trump will always be viewed like that.